on, everybody out there? Once again, you know what time it is. You know who I am. I am Mr. Soul Lover Man 504, aka Demon Alvarez. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Soulful Conversations, where we bring you the most amazing people on the planet. I do this, so you don't have to. So today, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I delivered because we have probably one of the most prolific artists and dancers of her time. And her name is Marissa Mojo Joseph. So just a little bit about her. She's a creator, a dance conductor. She's a CEO, a business owner. She's a influencer. She's a I would like to humbly say she's a global dance icon. She's also a mother, and she's also a world traveler. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Marissa Mojo Joe.
Woo! I am so flattered. I have never had an introduction like that, so thank you. Appreciate all of those kind words and just a mashup of my journey and like what has me here talking to you right now. So thank you for that. Hello everyone. How are you? My name be Mojo.
And so when we met a few weeks ago at the
Mhm.
at Kalinda LeBeau's the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. I'd like to
Mhm.
probably give her respect. So when we
Yeah, yeah.
met,
At her Conjure Fest, she has that
yeah,
festival yearly. Conjure Fest. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the Conjure, and if you guys have never been, Conjure Fest was amazing. It was off the chain. I really enjoyed my time down there, and meeting her and her family, and just meeting some amazing people, like my amazing guest here. And I saw y'all performing, and I saw how you were just dancing and moving, and I've really seen I've never seen, like, from me personally, I've never seen anything like that.
Mhm.
It was an amazing moment. So, like, for
Oh
you,
wow.
how did you initially get started into the world of performing arts?
Well, I was a young kid, and so the first thing that I got involved in was just regular dance school. That we would start in like elementary, and I was a little bit late getting to dance. I didn't start dance until I was 10. Typically, like young girls in our communities, like we start dance school like 3, 4 years old. Um, but I was always a dancer, and then my mom decided to put me in school and I did pretty much jazz and parade dance. Also, a large focus on just Black Southern dance. One thing that I definitely have to give my first dance teacher, Miss Virgie Broussard Prater out of New Iberia, like she gave me the confidence to view myself as like a young, free to express Black girl. Um, and she was so confident as a woman and teacher. So then I continued my journey of just being in dance school, and then I actually graduated from dancing from a school called Jill Listia in Lafayette, Louisiana. And at that point, it was kind of like I was told that the like certified or certificate programs to join a group called Dance Masters of America, like there was nothing. All I could do was just take the test, graduate. There was nothing else beyond that. And I never did like that feeling. That didn't sit well with me. That like I couldn't, if this was like available to me to graduate from, if this is what you sold, like me and my parents, then I should be able to do more studies, within that particular program, and focus on dance. But then I just kind of went on my own dance journey, and trying to figure some things out since I had a no. And that is one thing I don't like. I don't like people telling me no. I don't like that. I'm just being honest. Like I'm sensitive AF. Like I don't. If you tell me no, I'm gonna say pretty much forget you, and I'm gonna figure out my own way, and that's exactly what I've done. um, since I graduated high school in 2004. I went off on my own dance journey to find my own dance voice, and I really I got involved in folk dancing, African dancing, and then in New Orleans, it was getting involved with the baby dolls. So, and then I've also done fitness. Created my own like dance fitness programs and brought them, to the universities. Only actually one university I only did that, LSU, because that was my university that I attended in college.
Okay.
So I just did, I've always been a creator.
So you took that. So you took that no and turned it into many yeses. A lot of
Turned into
people,
many yeses.
yeah, a lot of people would have taken that and just be like, okay, well, I guess that's it then. Just and just like throw in the towel and do. With that said, do you find yourself to be a trailblazer in a sense, maybe like as far as for your generation and maybe the generations that are coming under you?
I don't want to necessarily say that I'm a trailblazer because I think that we unfortunately live in a world of comparison. And I don't, just because I may be misinformed about the existence of another person that did this, maybe that person already did something like this, and I just haven't found out about that person yet. So I don't want to necessarily say that I'm a trailblazer, but I will say that I'm a mover and a shaker.
Hmm.
I will say that, I think that in terms of the dance world, the things that, especially if we're a young girl going through dance school, we feel like our education and also the creative piece, it stops at a certain time. But if you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're doing something that's cultural, you're doing something that teaches people about, I teach these classes out, but really it's about the value of who we are as people from Louisiana. And I realized for sure one thing, that I've always been that person, even as a child. Every style of dance that I was always gravitated to had a huge Louisiana component to the movement. And I decided that I wanted to create my own way, my own dance styles. Look at, the great dancers that we know. One of my favorite is jazz dancer Frank Hatchett. These people were soulful, and they created and made their own dance styles and got other people to be involved with what they were putting out there, not the other way around.
So, how important? Well, let me ask this: how
Mm-hmm.
important do you feel like, especially in today, that how important do you feel like it's um, for like younger girls to see maybe someone like yourself, however you want to spin it, indigenous, Afro American, melanated, we call ourselves so many different things these days. So, I like to be all inclusive. How important do you think?
Well, that is one thing too. Like I know for sure, like you have to stick and stay true to who you are. What I say that I do Creole Afro because I recognize my Louisiana roots of Creole. Before Africa. We have so many. They're all of me. I recognize the native influence. Because we've been natives of this land. For a long time. So it's really just a call. Um, an awareness of who I am whenever I'm entering like an improvisational conduit work space. So when I call out Creole Afro, like that's what I'm always like looking to do.
When I saw you performing that weekend, and it was to me it felt like a whole lot spiritual, but a whole lot cultural as well. So when you're
Hmm.
dancing, do you feel like when you're doing that kind of, or just really any dances, do you
Hmm.
feel your like do you feel like that ancestral connection?
I do. Whenever I feel them like in different parts. Like when I'm doing a class, like when I'm doing a performance, like I did with Kalinda, when we were intentionally like invoking spirit life, I feel like that was like a different, deeper ancestor that I was calling. And when I'm in those type of dance performances, even whenever I do African dance, one of the groups that I perform with, our name is Ivoire Spectacle, and the master drummer, his name is Segen Onkone. He comes from the SOULFUL people in Ivory Coast. So that's like a very specific, like deep spiritual ancestral ground of work, that I have to tap into, because that's what it is. That's what it calls for. But when I'm doing like, you know, dance class workouts, I am invoking spirit, but I'm invoking more of a fun and a hype spirit.
Hmm. So how were you? Um, so I know that like the pandemic, everything shut down. So
Hmm.
what gave you the mindset of to say like, you know what? Since everything is virtual now, I'm just gonna take this thing virtual, and then now I'm not gonna make me feel wrong, but I think you like said you were doing classes in Japan and just like all over the world. So what like kind of was sparked that?
Virtually. Virtually, like I remember like during the pandemic, like I was trying to decide like which lane, I was gonna take. And I was waiting for, our tourism community to like, put some things up and see like how that would work. Or there was a route of Airbnb. And so I chose they selected like a few um, businesses to like submit like what would a virtual experience look like on Airbnb, and I did that, and they chose and actually worked with me to like put a class together on their platform, and literally that's what I needed throughout the pandemic. I entered so many homes globally that year. It was ridiculous and beautiful.
And with that, now you're, so how did that feel? Like, taking it like to just taking it to another level and just being known, like in a sense, like all over the world.
Hmm. um it's definitely humbling, but it does mean that I still have more work to do.
Hmm.
um and it also like the reality is I've pulled back, because during that time of the pandemic, I was trying to figure out so many things, how I was going to be not just a business trying to survive a shutdown of the world, but I was pregnant, at the time too. So I had that concern. I didn't have any help, from her father, at the time. So I had some decisions, that I had some real life decisions that I had to make. And when I took that leap to do those Airbnb experiences globally, it was something that I had to do. So I did it. Like they literally watched me grow pregnant. Yeah. Doing those Airbnb experience, like literally. So whereas like when I had the baby, it was almost like they were a part of like my baby shower. Like I just had this big global baby, this big global baby shower. And like, at one part, early in the morning, like I had to get out of my comfort zone. So if I wanted to reach people in Japan or Italy, like I had to wake up and offer classes at 5:30 in the morning. So that way they could take like their evening, you know what I'm saying? They could take like their evening class.
Hmm.
Sometimes I've had people in Ethiopia. I've had them, take classes. I had a couple of ladies from Nigeria, like I had so yeah, they humbled me a lot, because I'm like, look at this, how one decision that you make, like just out of, like I had to figure it out, because I learned as I'm observing what's going on. I'm like, well, nobody's responsible for saving me but me.
Mm.
So let me, I don't want to have excuses for why I didn't do, during this time, or for my daughter. Like I didn't give myself a choice.
So let that be a lesson to you folks out there.
Yeah.
It can be done. You have someone. You have an amazing individual here that's not only has done it, but it's just also
I'm doing it. I'm figuring it
also
out.
right, also continuing to do it and growing. And you're at this event now. You're continuing to grow, and it's that's one thing. I always say about this journey. You never know what amazing things that are going to happen or that could happen,
Yeah,
until you naturally just, I think a lot of people are just afraid to really just put themselves out there.
because
There's
it's
the,
scary.
yeah,
It's scary. Like, like you're one, like I'm one, like over here, right now. Like there are a lot of connections and different people, that I'm connecting with, but I'm one person even just at this convention,
yeah,
right now. So it's just like, and sometimes that can make you uncomfortable, and it's like, you feel like you're around a sea of people that you don't know, which is true. So you have to have the confidence with different personalities, different mindsets, different backgrounds, all of that. It's like so many things that you have to deal with. But when you claim and you say that, you have an idea in mind, you have a project in mind that you want to focus on, sometimes you got to be in that room. You have to be in that room because, if I see myself as, I am all those things with being a dancer and being a dance artist, a movement healer, but I'm also like an entrepreneur. And one thing that I know for sure, and a lot of the work that I'm doing, I'm always talking about ancestors that's connected to our families in Louisiana. And I can't name an ancestor that I know personally that didn't carve a way for their child. If life said no, they carved away, and they said, they said, Michelle, it's gonna happen. Nobody is saying, nobody is saying no. So, I definitely feel like that here, like I have to, I'm carving my way, I'm carving my way and I'm doing things the best way now that accommodates my life right now as a mother, because that's number one. I'm number one, a mother. Being an entrepreneur and being a businesswoman and being a dance artist, that comes second to me being a mother. So I'm dedicated to that Monday through Sunday, 24/7. Um, and then whenever I get the opportunity to work physically, and have my energy out, like, hey, I'm here and I'm present and I'm with you.
do you, and that is amazing, man. Do you feel that, because a lot of people say, find something you love, you'll never work another day in your life, or chase your
Hmm.
passions, but it doesn't go beyond that. It's not like, okay, chase your passions, here's a blueprint on how to do it. And that's one thing about this, the journeys that we take, especially if it's new to us. We can look at, you can look at other dancers and various genres of dancing. I can look at,
Hmm.
maybe, let's say, other authors, other people that are doing podcasts or things like that. But like,
Hmm.
for you, and I say myself too, it comes out being uniquely your own. So when did you like make that when was that aha moment to say, like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it like my
When I was sitting in jail in St. Bernard Parish. I'm just, bro, like I didn't even know how I got there. I was just like, wait, bro, like, hold up. I was like, how the fuck did I end up here? Like, I told you, like, I'm a conduit. So even the most uncomfortable, ancestors, they're gonna come and visit you at some point. And I had a situation in St. Bernard Parish that got, out of hand, and I wasn't backing down at all. I was just like, oh, I don't know what usually, I don't know, because you see, I didn't know either. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know about the racial tension, that exists between like New Orleans and St. Bernard Parish. So,
way. Hmm.
you know, I'm I'm flipped, but I'm being straight, and when I get like that, that's just like, bro, who you talking to? Like, no, don't, no. Say what you gotta say and be done, but we don't have to be disrespectful, and oh yeah, I sat in jail over that. and was willing to deal with it as well. But as I'm sitting there guarding my vajayjay, because I was just like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. Is this I don't know what kind of I don't know what kind of things to expect, being here. And I remember sitting in that bed, in that cot, not a fucking bed, in that dormitory, and I was just like laid out, and I was taking a samba class at the time with Casa Samba, and I just got up and I started dancing. I just got up and I started dancing, and after like I got up and I started to do samba, I had already started working on bounce fitness with Mojo and like these private classes, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't successful enough to where it's like it could truly sustain me. And so I was also, but I was still growing, like I was accepting like contracts to work, in schools, because I also had a contract, believe it or not, in Hammond, Louisiana, with this elementary school, and it was in a church. So I would have dance fitness classes with these children, at this church. So when I got up and realized that I needed to get up and be stronger about my situation, I chose dance. I went to a deeper, Afro spiritual, an indigenous spiritual side of moving me from outside of that place. And I did Brazilian, of all places. I just chose to get up and like have that fighter spirit. Like no one was gonna keep me here, because I have things to do. I have things to do, and I have to move on. I can't let these children down. They're expecting Miss Mojo, to be at school, on a Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, that was my attitude, like the whole time. Like, who about to sit up in jail? Bitch, I got shit to do. Like, I didn't want to call my parents. I ain't go front. I did not want to call my parents at all, because they were those type of parents. Y'all know what they say. You get in trouble, I ain't nobody coming to get you. So yeah, so I woke up. I definitely I woke up, out of that, and it actually gave me the push that I needed to be where I am right now.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, I actually grew up in Saint Bernard Parish, so I know the history of the parish and how it is. And it's always like
Oh
that.
yeah, you better not tell it to the people. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Like, out of the
Right.
court, because they
Yeah.
gonna want to know, like, what you trying to say about us?
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, it's always that's just how it. Saint Bernard Parish is a great example of, especially when I was younger, a relative example of the good old boy South. I'll just leave it
Yeah,
at that. I'll just leave it.
yeah. I think that's best. But that's, it's unfortunate that that was such a common story, for many African Americans. Like we face that. We hear about it with men, to be honest, way more than we hear it with women. But it is interesting that is usually our common thread story, or one of the many common thread stories. And I also like was thinking to myself, like, why is this happening to me? But then why not me? Like, if I do conduit work, like, this is just yet another example of conduit work. They had a few other ladies that got up, and they just like ended up dancing with me, while I was in there. So yeah. So what I'm saying? Like, I promote like bounce fitness, or I promoted like Mojo, like in jail. Like, yep, let's get up. Come on. Wow, wow, move. Yes.
Go. That's amazing. So you realize it was like, this is one of those teachable moments. Like, seriously, this is one of those teachable moments, and so it seems like, after that, for you, almost in a sense, like the sky was like just the limit. But like, you're I,
The
I think
limit.
I think like.
And my family came and got me. I didn't want to
Mhm.
call. I was being hard up on that. And this lady that was like sitting next to me, rest in peace, Carrie, because she actually died of an overdose. Um, she told me, she was like, you know what? Look at half of us in here. We don't have anybody that love us. You know what I'm saying? Like we can tell like there's something else, about you. So if you have parents to call, like get off your shit and just like call them. And I was like, damn. I was like, but she was being raw, but she was just like, the fuck, like what's wrong with you, you know? So I took that, and I was like, you're right. But when I finally decided to call my parents, when you have love, like love helps you conquer like the world. When people
Mhm.
genuinely love you, like they could feel something isn't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they come to your aid. Like, they're it's a beautiful thing when family is your crutch. You know, and my mom and my dad, my sister, my goddaughter, they all just like they found me. My mom, she was like, I don't know what's going on with Marissa. She was like, she not answering the phone. Like, let's go. I'm going to check on my child. If I don't hear from her by like 9 a.m., I'm going to check on my child. My sister, she was better, with technology and finding out things. And so,
Mhm.
they were there, and they came and they got me. I was out of the situation as soon as I made my mom. My mama did what she needed. My mom and my dad, they did what they needed to do, and I was
Yeah,
back
I
to be in Miss Mojo and Hammond. You know what I'm saying? I was like
had to go.
so it's listening to that call,
So
listening to that
you,
call of love has saved me so many times, and it also moves me to like the next the next phase of my existence and story.
what would you say dancing is? Would you say like dancing is your superpower?
Oh yeah, definitely. Dancing, I do feel like Shiro. When I'm dancing, I feel like I can fly. I feel like I can take on, you know, the world, and make it great,
Mhm.
even if it's for an hour, you know. If it's an impactful hour that we're sharing with each other, like that's to me that's living.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing some amazing things, man, moving forward. Like some amazing, amazing, amazing things. I'm sure you. I'm sure you know that. It's almost like you are the quintessential um, like poster child of dancing. It's almost like you move to a rhythm. Like your life moves to a beat. Like uh, you don't sit
I
around.
do, but it's already been done for me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like we've always, with all of our musical dance forms, Louisiana is the birthplace of jazz. So everything that people love about New Orleans, everything that people love about Creole, everything that people love about Black, like it's our soil that's in there, ours. And I say that confidently because when you know who you are, hey, I can speak freely about whatever because I'm very clear. You know, it is what someone else has already done. And the same you used that word earlier, like trailblazing, like the women in jazz when the Sixth Ward, from what I understand, was like full of casinos. Those women were in there and they were dancing with those orchestras. How powerful is that? You're seeing like these women, at a we call it the hole in the wall now, but at the casino, then, but these people are there and they're dressed up to the nine and they're moving freely, they're dancing, they're talking, they're smoking, they're with people who probably are gangsters and they probably got the priests and the businessmen, like on the side as well.
Right.
So just by us having that rich history, of jazz music, because jazz is our story. I that I did realize, like, you know, these ancestors have left the roadmap, you know, for us years ago. You know, they showed us how to be a surviving, a thriving, and living dance artist and entrepreneur. You know, they showed us this already. So it's not like it's not in us from a heritage standpoint to tap into it and do it.
And like somebody was to ask, well, how how do I do that? How do I, it's just like you said, it's just understanding your history and owning up to your truth and knowing
Yeah.
that knowing like looking up at the sky and knowing that your potential is not just at the sky, but it's so far beyond. Like you said.
And it's not just yours. Like I had this conversation with this idiot, just idiot, you know, last night. Because you know at Palm Springs, like clearly a whole bunch of rich ass, just they are rich, but they're also like assholes to a certain extent. um and just constantly like the conversation like always goes back to money. And I was just like, and he even got on the topic of ancestry, like, you know, well, this is not my fault and it's not your fault. And I was like, first off, nobody's talking about slavery, nobody's talking about Confederate flags, none of that. You brought up the Trump MAGA. I don't give a fuck if you I really don't, you know. If you're Trump MAGA, like, go you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know your perspective and like where you're coming from. But what I did notice in that conversation, I was like, you know, it's interesting that when we don't like tap in, and that's everybody, when we don't tap in to what has already been laid down for us as a foundation, you feel like, oh well, you know, I'm the first, you know, to do this. No, you're selfish and you're into yourself a little bit too much. It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. You know, the difference is you have to take on an accountability piece to your ancestry, you know. And ancestors are they're spiritual creatures. They move, you know. And if you don't want to listen, guess what? We're moving on. We 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 are moving on. We're moving on to the next person, that the next spirit, you know, the next body that we can jump into, and they're going to fulfill the next part of this task, you know, that we started. You know, one of my favorite dancers, and I have her photo up in my studio and my house, the Mojo Gallery, and her name is Baby Briscoe. And Baby Briscoe, like, in my opinion, like, if I'm going to have a spiritual dancer that's connected to Creole dance and jazz music in just New Orleans, I'm going to choose this spiritual deity right here, you know, because I don't have to, she's not a figment, you know, of my imagination. It's not somebody that I just like conjured and put together. This is a real human being that walked, you know, this earth, and she led, you know, she changed like the swing, you know, a person that comes in and could change like an orchestra from playing, very soft to, oh, it's time to pick it up. And, you know, let's, let's get everybody up. Let's get everybody dancing. Let's get
Hmm.
everybody moving. Like the dancer then turned into the conductor. She
So
chose,
thank.
you know, she got the band, you know, to have like that swing. So when I learned that about her, and I was like, wow, look at that. Like, right. And she did it right here, like in Louisiana. Like, she didn't have to go to New York or California or, you know, France. Like, she made her reality starting in New Orleans. So I just feel like it's a like when we don't follow like great people that are from our past and our ancestry, like we're missing out.
Yeah, I feel that. I always say that in New Orleans. I mean, people say this about their cities, but I always feel like probably maybe New Orleans and that New York area as far as just uh, ground rooted talent. I mean, we were all over the place, but just as far as just culturally diverse with art, painters and dancers and musicians and and
Mm.
just and spiritualists. I think probably some of the best on the planet. I mean, if you really dig and if you just really naturally just look into it. Is she there? Okay, wait, she's coming back. Bye, folks. Things happen. See if she's still there. You still there? Okay, she's still there. But can you hear me? Oh no, she went. She's gone again. Oh, okay, so let's see if she's gonna come back. Okay, she's back. All right, there we go. Let's see. Let's see. Can we? Let's see. If we have audio. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. I can't hear you. Yeah. I think it's. Turn the audio up some. See if I turn my audio up some.
Hello.
Okay. There we go. All right. We're back.
But it's something you gotta like disconnect everything. Like I had to hang up the call, and then I had to unplug my headphone, well, what do you call these, earbuds or earphones? Because they're not technically headphones. They're just whatever, earphones. I had to replug my earphones.
See what happens when that conversation starts to get deep in that ancestry conspiracy theory? I think so. Like,
It's the truth. Like I refuse to. Yeah, but it's really how it's one of the things that helps me navigate through my journey. Of how I live my life, and it keeps me grounded because it keeps me connected, and it shows me that I have a responsibility to them. Like their existence mattered, their sacrifice and the things that they did. It mattered. They're a part of my life tree. So I have to. I gotta constantly go back to water them. And take care of them.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was telling Kalinda last night how I'm always, even though when I don't want to go back to the ocean because I feel like I'm a child of the water, but even when I don't want to go back to the ocean, I'm always there, like talking to them and always going into nature and always like, it's just that it's like they become it's interesting because they become in a sense like closer to living family. But I mean, it's a when I tell people out there the spiritual the spiritual walk is real. It's not anything cute like you would find on Instagram or TikTok. This stuff is real, man.
It's
And
really real.
when you step in and you step in for life, and especially when you say, okay, I'm gonna walk this chosen not just path but paths. For me, it's like you're walking it for you and them. Y'all walking it together.
Yeah. Oh no, that's really real. That's why I always keep myself open to even like traveling to so many different places because I feel like that's a part of the responsibility too. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever they're from are the many different spaces, that they're from, be it Florida or if it's Belize, or Trinidad, or Nigeria. We owe it to them to return home.
Hmm. And I always, I always tell people home is where the heart is, man. You go.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I'll say this, and I'll say this with a lot of confidence. Uh, we are loved all over the planet. We are, like you can attest to.
Yeah.
We
Hmm.
really are. And it's like once you get around the
Yes,
confines
ma'am.
of the borders, then
Thank you.
you find so much more. You
You
find so
want to,
much more
excuse me?
opportunity.
You want to take this? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. So now I'm just saying that, just basically stating, go where the love is. That's because
Hmm.
it'll take you around the world and back.
Yeah. And it gives you, like, when you travel, like, I don't necessarily like travel with a group of people. Like when I typically travel, I usually travel solo, because the part of the goal for me, traveling is I'm searching for not only fun, but I'm searching for, conduit work, and I don't really want to have to explain that, like the journey that like I'm taking and why I'm going, why I'm choosing to go certain places. So my last trip to Trinidad in 2019, that's when it was actually revealed to me that I was going to get pregnant, because ancestors from home kept coming. And then I had, like, I don't know why, but I was just attracted to a lot of like the native people, the Amerindians, and it was almost
Mhm.
like one of them walked up and he looked just like my papa. I was like tooth and all. I was like, wait, what is going on? Right? It was so wild, and then just randomly, like, I ended up like doing carnival in the jungle, like not even Port of Spain, and I was totally fine. With that, I ended up like in Port of Spain in the main party area, but it was just like my spirit led me to the person and the people that like brought me into the other side, that brought me onto the other side, of the jungle, to like enjoy being with their people.
Mhm.
There are people who welcome me as one of them, so when you do see that, that is a welcome home.
Right. And it's, man, it's just like,
Yeah, like
it's
we
like
don't
every
have to look far.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean that's saying a lot without saying a lot. And
Hmm.
that's because it's like wherever you go and you see people that, especially people that look like you're gonna feel at home.
Hmm.
That's just like every island I've been to throughout the Caribbean, I've always felt like home, like no matter
Hmm.
what. And that's just I think uh, it's a testament to being connected spiritually and both ancestrally as well. So
Yeah.
so for you? I know you're doing some traveling right now. So what's next? What's coming up next
It's about to be Christmas time, so
for you?
so I'm gonna be working on getting my baby her Christmas gifts and making sure
Okay.
she has a good Christmas. But one thing that I definitely got back into this year was doing some consulting. And it's funny because theater always like ends up calling me back. I don't care at what point of life, the theater will definitely call me. And right now I'm working and doing some consulting work with Jefferson Performing Arts Parish.
Okay.
So they're yeah, so just rebranding like their social media, and the fact that like the Mojo Gallery was like reached out to like just revamp
Mhm.
their social media and give it more of like a community connection. um that's been really fun for me. It's been fun for me to use a lot of my experiences that I've been traveling and learning about to now use that years later and apply that to another side of my business.
Okay. So,
Which I did start off that way. I started off in that before I did dance. Like I had, I worked for a magazine called Louisiana Cooking Magazine that's still out today. And
okay.
I realized at that point, that's when I knew what I wanted to do for sure with like Creole stories. I was like, I want to tell stories about, people from Louisiana, because we just got so much, like, we just got so many living and walking history books. Like I could see like it's never far removed for us because it's just like it's family, or it's someone that's like a friend of the family. Like whatever we want to find out, we can still go talk, to a person today, and it's a direct connection. So so I lost my train of thought talking about that. What was the question? I just I got all caught up in it because I'm like, yeah, that it does make me laugh. But I was talking about the first business I started, and I realized that I wanted to tell like those stories. Not in a million years I thought I would be doing that through dance and doing like a tour like experience called Mojo's Bouncing Tour Class. Like I never thought that I would be doing like some of the things that I'm doing now. But I was just like, but I dance. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a very fun way to like show people like how we still carry on Louisiana traditions, if it's through bounce or if it's through second line or if it's through jazz, zydeco, whatever. Like it's, us preserving our family's heritage and culture. It starts with us. We have to do, we have to do the work. And so I didn't do well when I first opened my communications business. It was called MJ Communications, and it was not happening. But guess what was happening first? Guess what was happening first? It was Bounce Fitness. Bounce Fitness was happening first, which is interesting because I said that as a child. I was like, oh, this would be so much fun. Like how we go to the beach, in Alabama and Florida, how everybody's like jamming on the beach. And of course, like there was Freaknik and all of that. Like I miss Freaknik. I was so hurt when Freaknik was done, like the real for real Freaknik. Because I'm looking at this with ideas in my head, like, oh, I'm gonna go to like those type of festivals, and I'm just gonna have like this big dance jam. That's what I said in my head, when I was a kid. So I should have known that like the dancing part of my entrepreneurship would like kick off, before like this consulting side. So right now in between like managing the dance and dance fitness and group tours and group dance experiences at the Mojo Gallery, I'm also offering consulting.
Okay. Do you do like consulting with like social media um individuals? You know, how people like to do these dances on TikTok and all of that stuff like that.
No, because I don't want to be like, I'm not the OG. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
just if you feel like there's something that you want to ask, that you want to know about, like I want you to come to me, and we gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna use the tools that I have to help you. One way that I definitely do that, I do that with my studio space. I try to make those whichever local dancer they feel like they want to learn from me, because I never want to like push who I am on people. I'm like, oh, I
Hmm.
got the formula, come learn from me. You don't need to be learning from no duck ass. You don't need to be learning from them over there. Come learn from me. I got that's the course. I don't ever, if you want to come to me, I'll do my best, to help you with whatever I have. So, and I have a few people that, they take what it is, that I have to give, because I never want to be, I never want to be phony with people. That's not in my spirit. That's not who I am. So
Right.
come to me if you need something, and we just go, I'm gonna give you what I have. I'm gonna tell you what I
What they
know.
say? What do they say back home? Holla at your people, son.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what I
Oh,
know, because you are my people, and that's what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? For my people. So, and if you don't do that, I'm looking at you like, psh.
Hold on. Yeah. So, um, I know you got a lot going on out there, networking and moving and shaking. Just one
I'm
or
going to
two
get a
last
massage
questions.
right now.
Okay.
I'm about to leave from
Man, I can
here.
have
Yeah,
one of those. Yeah, I haven't had
I'm
one of
about to
those
leave
in a
from here and do
minute.
that.
Yeah, I haven't had one of those in a minute, man. But
Mm-hmm.
so where do you see yourself? Like, what's the dream trip for you to go to? As far as like where you want to plant your feet at?
Like next or like,
Yeah, just like next.
well, you know, the funny thing about life is everything that I've always asked for, even as a child, I've gotten those things. So then it's
Hmm.
like receiving the thought and then deciding like, how are you going to hold on to it? And then you just can't hold on to it. You have to cultivate it, right? So one thing that I've always said was that I wanted to live in two places. And at first, before I had my daughter, I was trying to figure out how to live in New Orleans was home. Because I was just like, if I have to choose, you know, between my hometown, you know, New Iberia and New Orleans, like, it's New Orleans for me. But I was single. You know, it was just me I was worried about. And then I was like, I'm gonna try to live in New York part time. What did God do? I got pregnant for a man in Brooklyn, New York. So I still had interest, right? And it was so crazy because I was just like, no, ancestors, like you cannot. I don't even him. Why? I don't even. I don't understand. Um, but I knew it. You know, it was something extremely ancestral. You know, about him that I didn't question. You know, I didn't question it. You know, it was almost like it was nourishment. You know, for me. So who am I to like deny the nourishment? You know that
Hmm.
and the blessing that they're giving me, and then look what they blessed me with, a bigger blessing. My daughter is the best thing that has happened in my life. And I make sure, even though we don't always see, I call him, I was like, one of the reasons, like, I love you because I recognize the ancestry, you know, both of us. And because, like, even recognizing that, like, I could never harm this child from conception to her being here, like, that means that I'm also, like, not doing anything intentionally to hurt you. So, but I got my interest, you know, my interest was my daughter, you know, in New York. And then I was like, okay, well, California, because California is big, of course, with Silicon Valley and, you know, all these different tech creators and creatives, you know, they're here. So I wanted this coastal, you know, life. And right now I've accomplished like two parts of that. And versus me living in New Orleans and in New York, I'm now New Orleans and Lafayette, which is perfect for me because I'm just like, you know, I'm really a country girl. So it's just like
Hmm.
I really love being like this part of myself, you know, as a Creole living freely and living in a way that like my ancestors on this land, you know, like they always did live, but maybe sometimes it's just like they couldn't, you know. So here I am, like providing the freedom of it, you know, for them. Like, oh, you couldn't do that, you know, your rip, or you wanted to do it like a little bit different. You just felt like you wanted to come back and do it again. Here, I'm right here in Lafayette, you know, close by to get those things done. All right. And then New Orleans is home too, you know, and I'm looking for that as well, you know, being home all in New Orleans. But one thing I can say is that I don't necessarily I don't always look for the ancestral like call. You know, in New Orleans, the funny part about New Orleans is just like it ends up happening when you're
Right.
not, you know, it's
I,
like
I
whenever
can,
it's
I can.
yeah, like it's just it hits you almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, pooh, like yeah, like this is who you need to know about her. This is who you need to meet. And, you know, then the story like unfolds about that. And that is one thing that I try to keep sacred about what I'm doing. Um, because it's not about, I'm going to use this as a brief example and you run with it however you want to. Anthony Bourdain, Anthony, I'm gonna just show you what I'm talking about. Why you can't play? Anthony Bourdain. You remember that episode that he did in Lafayette when he was at the Mardi Gras and he was doing the chicken
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
run and
yeah.
okay, well, all of that is like it's sacred, you know, to us. And it's like it can't be sold. It can't be sold. It can't be purchased. There are there are definitely parts of it that can be a marketing ploy, because we have to be a part of the machine, at one way or the other. But Anthony Bourdain, his team, they wanted first off, they didn't know really who to go to develop like the storyline of that. And then they were like, "Oh, well, we don't have any money to give these people." What you want me to give you the back? You want me to give you the story, for your show, but then you want to go into a community of people that you want the culture, but then you at least don't want to pay basic, like pay, basic incentives, for them to pretty much share their story. You're not gonna ask me to do that. That's your word. You're not asking me to do that. I'm not. No. So what do you think happened to certain people? They did it, but I'm like, you do it on your own. That's not coming from me. I'm sorry. I'm not dealing with a lashing. Oh no, not if because it's blasphemy for us. If you're gonna come in and nobody is talking about money, you just want me to
Right,
talk.
that part.
What you talking about right now? No, I see what I see. You know, globally. You know what I'm saying? Like you're on CNN and you got your show. Like this man travel all around. Like don't get me caught up in your celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Because after your celebrity leaves, like people still have families to feed. So it needs to be a 2-in-1. You pay a base, fee, and they actually get to do something, with it. And it also builds them for like the future. Like there's something they could gain from it in the future. Like to me, that's a fair exchange. And what happened right after that episode? He OD'd in Europe somewhere?
Yeah, I think so.
Right after that episode, he OD'd. I'm so happy I didn't have nothing to do with that shit. And that, when you feel that and whenever you see it and it, like, hey, all money ain't good money. All opportunity, even if it's for a credit, it's not all good opportunity. And that's why it's so important to hold on to your past. It's very important to hold on to you. If you don't hold on to what was already done, the rape that was already done, the mismanagement that was already done, is going to come back years later and they've already perfected a way to do it. No, you're not with me.
It's like, well, hey, we're not going to pay you. Well, we don't have anything to talk about then, sir. Like, I mean,
No.
that's just that's just how that goes, man. Like for real.
And it's not my thing is it's not going to come through me. If that
Hmm.
and if you have if you go and reach out to that individual, you have that conversation with them. Don't ask me to have that don't know. That's culturally disrespectful and I'm not doing it. Sorry.
That's man, that is, that is something else, man. I tell you what. That's why. Goodness. But anyway, yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on this joint. I know you about to go jump off and do your style thing. Just so you just tell the world out there where you can be found, social media, website, and all that good stuff.
Yes, you can definitely find me on my website, themojo.com. That's TheMoeJoe.com. And then right now I'm offering dance outs online. And my first dance out that you can purchase is $10 right now on my website through Thinkific. And it's the dance out version of my bounce and twerk class. So go on ahead and join me in the virtual world for 30 minutes. I want people to get their little 1, 2, want, whoop, whoop, drop, drop, swoop, swoop, circle, swivel, swiggle, wobble, whatever you want to do for 30 minutes. We're gonna move our bodies. And let me always say this too to the women from bounce music that I always saw. I owe a lot of like who I am to like these nameless women that I wish I would have really known. You know, I wish I would have paid attention to them. And I know many of them are living today. That's why one of the people that I work with is Cheeky Black, and we definitely met in a real way. And I'm so blessed and happy that New Orleans women, y'all were so able to just like let it just be, let it be out, let it be there. Like this is us in our entirety in many different ways, and I'm not holding back from it. I'm confident. I'm assured. I'm gangster. I'm the like I'm the teacher. Like I'm the entrepreneur. I'm the hairstylist. I'm your lover, your sugar mama. Like it was just it was just it was all of that all evidence that was like exhibited in your face in real time, like coming up, that it really meant something to me. And I really it has me like where I am right now, like with that confidence. And just when I teach dance classes to women, like I want them to have like that ownership, because when you have an ownership with what you're doing, guess what, you burn more of the bullshit away. In this case with dance fitness, you burn in the calories. Get it off. Get it all the way off. Shake it off. Move it off. It's yours. However it come. If it's manufactured from the doctor, from the shot, from you working out in the gym, like you gotta work it out. So yeah. So join Mojo and my dance out online right now at themojo.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter. I'm not Twitter. Ooh, Lord, what am I saying? Instagram, IG at MOEJOEROCK, MOEJOEROCK.
Yeah, Twitter has way too much stuff going on over there. I'm not even
I don't even
really
really
know.
use Twitter.
Yeah, me either. I have one, but I never really was, all that hyped up. I got enough stuff going on with social media. But anyway, yes.
Kiddig.
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Kiddig.
Right. It's just I'm good for real. But all right, man. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on and blessing the Soulful Conversation audience. And hopefully we can run this back again in a few months. We'll catch up with you next year, see what you got going on. As I like to say, big things pop in, little things.
Yeah.
Just need to have the faith of the mustard seed, folks.
Yeah, big things are going, boy.
But I hope you guys were inspired on today with this amazing conversation. I know we had some technical glitches, but hey, we were live, y'all know.
We made it through,
As always, and that's what we're gonna do, folks. We're gonna make it through because we are live and beyond. So yeah, so ladies and
Can
gentlemen.
nothing be stopped. Can nothing be stopped. It's only a halt.
So it is written, so it shall be. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. Soul of a Man 504. She is the amazing. She doesn't say trailblazer. I say trailblazer. She is the amazing trailblazer, bringing all that generational wealth to herself and to her family and beyond. So, Miss Mojo, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to sign up for everything that she has going on now and in the near future and beyond. So, again, as always, folks, we are out this piece. So we're gonna say peace.
Peace.